This is the market town of Stowmarket, Mid-Suffolk's principal settlement and key to the region's growth and regeneration. The town is well positioned along the A14 and the east-west rail corridor from Harwich and Ipswich to Bury St Edmunds, Cambridge and beyond. Stowmarket has been identified as one of the district's most sustainable settlements, and so is a focus for new housing and economic growth. In 2013, the Stowmarket Area Action Plan identified this site, south of Union Road, on the west side of the town, to be considered for development.
This site's been identified by the council since 2013 as a sustainable site for housing development, and it's now coming forward through the plan application process, and the council have continued to identify this site through the emerging joint local plan which they're preparing. On this basis, it's clear that this site is a key site for the council as an important part of the growth of the town in the western side.
The emerging joint local plan has identified the district as a requirement for over 10,000 new homes by 2036. Hopkins Homes have commenced building 300 new homes here, off Union Road, on one of the allocated sites on the western edge of Stowmarket. Immediately adjacent, Endurance Estates are proposing a development on this draft allocated site, south of Union Road, east of Starhouse Lane and north of Finborough Road. The site is well defined, surrounded on all sides by trees and hedgerows. At an early stage, the development team from Endurance Estates studied the site carefully to assess its suitability to accommodate new homes. The team includes professional consultants in landscape, highway engineering, ecology, heritage, archaeology, drainage and flood risk. Endurance Estates are committed to making a positive contribution to the area, and the team concluded that this site offers an opportunity to create an appealing development with open green spaces and footpaths accessible to both new and existing local residents. Endurance have evolved a plan for either 143 new dwellings or 126 new homes and a residential care home of up to 66 beds. Both options will include substantial open areas within and around the development, incorporating new routes for active and passive recreation, play areas, the strategic planting of new trees, retention of important areas of existing vegetation, and where possible, creating new wildlife areas whilst integrating necessary drainage attenuation. The built form will incorporate a number of different characters, each with its own design elements to create a sense of place. The two proposed residential character areas are made up of green edges surrounding neighbourhood housing. In November 2019, Endurance engaged with the local residents to gauge their views on the proposed development through a public consultation event at Stowmarket Rugby Club. Comments and feedback from the consultation revealed that there was some public concern about wildlife habitats on the site and highways issues. One concern was that local roads and junctions would not be able to cope with any additional traffic generated by the development. This issue has been carefully examined by highways engineers.
As part of our assessment work supporting the planning application, we've had long discussions with Suffolk County Council, who are the highway authority. They've asked us to look at and assess a number of junctions in and around Stowmarket, including the junction of Union Road and Starhouse Lane. There are a number of improvements that can be made, particularly to visibility, but however junction capacities are all fine on all of the junctions for future year testing. One of the things we do have to look at is the cumulative impact of development. So we're assessing not only ourselves as a development, but also the Hopkins development adjacent and the Taylor Wimpey developments at Northfield View.
Visibility will be improved at the junction between Union Road and Starhouse Lane, and a new footway will be created leading from here along Union Road. Another highways question was how the new development will be accessed.
Highways access to the site is provided from Union Road. Pedestrian and cycle connections will be provided throughout, and they'll also be provided to Finborough Road. At the public consultation, we were asked why we weren't providing vehicular access to Finborough Road. but as people who are aware of the site will know, there are quite substantial level differences, and this would be a large visual as well as landscape intrusion.
The public consultation also revealed that there was concern about safeguarding the habitat of badgers living in woodland adjacent to the site. The impact of any development on the welfare of local wildlife has been assessed by ecologist Dr. Duncan Painter.
So this is a set which is used by a social group of badgers which use it all year round and will almost certainly give birth and raise their young in this location.
So badger guard hair in the spoil of this recently excavated set. You can see it has a dark tip to it, white shaft, but the characteristic that tells me it's a badger hair is that when you roll it between your fingers, the actual shaft of the hair is ribbed. It will feel the rib sensation when you roll it. So if that was a fox, it would be smooth, it wouldn't be ribbed, you wouldn't feel the ribbing.
So in terms of badger mitigation, there are two aspects to this. There is the need to make sure that their existing set is retained and protected, so it's undisturbed as much as possible. But also quite critically is the badgers in the set are ranging far and wide. They're crossing the 3 roads that border the site to the north, west and south. So the development has been designed such that actually the badgers will be able to continue to forage far and wide without having to cross developed land, essentially.
Sufficient green spaces have been designed into the housing layout to ensure wildlife still has space to move about, and the conversion of part of the existing arable field to grass parkland will actually bring a surprising benefit to badgers in particular.
I think from a badger perspective, what will be beneficial will be creating more areas of short grassland. Now, one of the badgers' most favoured food items are earthworms, and they will like to eat earthworms from short grass because they're easy to get hold of. So by actually creating areas of parkland that is going to be managed as a sort of a short grassland type habitat, that will actually potentially benefit badgers in the long run.
Further surveys have established that the development will have no impact on local heritage. The site is well screened by mature vegetation to the east, west and south. Rick Topman has assessed how the site will be drained and flood risks mitigated.
In this location we've checked all forms of flooding. None of the site itself is at risk of flooding from rivers, watercourses, surface water flooding, groundwater flooding, etc., etc. So there's a positive there in terms of planning and in terms of a non-constraint for the master planning and the layout. In terms of the drainage, because we've got a nice fall across the site, again we have no surface water pooling, ponding. The permeable nature of the geology means that water doesn't hang around in this location. So it's quite an easy site to solve, if you like, in terms of water management.
The site is well placed within walking distance of local schools, and the facilities of the town are easily accessible. Improved bus services will be made available on Union Road as part of the ongoing Hopkins Homes development. This planning proposal makes an important contribution to the Council's 5-year land supply and the growth and regeneration of Stowmarket and Mid Suffolk.